Hello and welcome to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I'm Mike, and I play with one Pokemon on the field.
I'm Kevin. This is apparently our 200th episode.
Apparently, you know what? I didn't realize this until looking at it last week.
Yeah.
While we were recording and saying, "Oh, hey, what episode is this? 199? Oh, an actual close to milestone." Okay.
So before we start, we gotta play the game.
Gotta play the game.
What's number 200?
Oh
no!
How am I gonna figure this out? I need to pull out my phone to actually figure this out then.
Oh, it's actually know it eventually.
How would we know?
We'd remember it.
Okay. Is it Pseudo-Ludo?
What's the 49th on the decks for Johto?
49th on the Johto deck. Okay. So this is kind of getting up there. It's past Murkrow.
It's past Murkrow. Yeah, what's after Murkrow? Is this finally the Swine Up episode?
Are we on the Swine Up episode? I would love if we were on the Swine Up episode. I will look right now.
It's okay. We'll vamp in the meantime. But yeah, we're here in Charlotte. Charlotte Regionals is literally tomorrow for us. Mm-hmm. And we feel as prepared as we ever have been.
Yeah.
Which is about the same as always.
Exactly. If that is any indication. Do you want to know what the Pokemon 200 is?
My guess was Swinub, but you can't make a guess now.
So I would continue on the Swinub train. In that level of Pokemon. Around the time where you would start catching Swinubs.
So is this a Sneasel?
You can, also still very much on the right track, I think.
Is it an ice type?
It is not an ice type.
It's not Lapras.
No. You can only catch this one at night, and we all hate it now because of what it created.
Mischevous.
Yeah, it's Mischevous.
It's Mischevous.
That's right.
We did it. Not bad.
So episode 200 of Pokésports is the Mischevous episode, which is so funny that comes out now. Because this is we hate Fluttermane, which is with a passion, right?
Yep.
I'm probably using it. Am I using it?
I hate it, but hey, it's on my team.
If you can't beat him, join him,
Yeah, why not?
So I have written here a couple of
notes.
Don't worry. Yeah.
This is 100% more notes than usual.
It does say 200th episode on the front, on the top of it. Yes. I wrote down that our Airbnb has a hot tub.
Okay.
And we're very excited by that. And we were thinking of doing a hot tub stream, a hot tub pod, but I don't want to do that.
I don't want to put microphones in the water, is what you're saying.
No.
Outside in the windy Charlotte weather, because it's not that cold, but it's windy.
It's so windy. Yeah, absolutely. We walked outside and it was like, okay, we're almost blown away. Hey, I feel like every 200 episodes we've got to do
every 4.5 years.
Famously, every 200 episodes we reintroduce ourselves, tell the people, why who they're here for, and the like. So, my name is Michael.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I used to be a singles player, and now I am very much not a singles player.
Oh,
yeah. I still play singles random battles, though. I refuse to touch.
Would you say that you are good enough at random battles to do coaching?
Coaching on random battles?
Yes, just random battles.
I think, okay, so...
There's a meta.
We can talk about this, right? Lately. Or we'll talk about this. So the concept of coaching, right? I feel like it's come up in the Twitter spaces and in conversation lately about, how experienced of a player do you need to be to become a coach? Mm-hmm. My take on this is that if you have any kind of accolades in streaming, content creation, or actually playing the game, you're fine to coach.
That makes sense.
You can be a coach.
Yeah.
If there is something that you can offer people that other people can't go and get themselves, or that you think, other people wouldn't just kind of inherently know, or you think a little bit better than other people, coach with it.
So what you're saying is you can do random battle coaching?
Yeah, you know what? I say why not?
Yeah. I'm going to stop me.
I can hit 1,500 in the ratings. Why not? What ratings do you hit in random battles? When was the last time you played a random battle?
Probably a year ago.
That's right. Exactly.
And people that say, just play random battle doubles. No, that's such a headache. Why would I?
Yeah.
It takes the point of a random battle is you want to start it, finish it, go to the next one.
Very quickly, yes.
It's you don't want to stay there for 20 minutes playing a game.
Do you happen to know if random battles is quick or is not quick?
Yeah, it's faster than most. isn't it? Because everything's like level scaled.
Sorry, I mean, but like random doubles.
I have no idea. It's probably not quick because you have to think about things like in another dimension, right?
I think inherently, like things on Showdown just are quick, right?
But I mean, like with double, okay, let me change that around.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I play random battles, I don't want to think. Singles is a little less thinky. It's like, okay, I'm going to set up here because I have the right type matchups and maybe it'll work. Doubles, it's like, oh, 2 things can hit me.
Right.
So it's like, I got to think an extra layer of thinking.
Right.
Not worth.
So we're reintroducing ourselves every 200 episodes. So
hello, my name is Kevin and I have a size spam problem.
And Kevin has a size spam problem. That's it.
Yes.
That's Kevin. What else?
That was our AA meeting. Hello, my name is Kevin.
I feel like I had my, YouTube come up during, like, what would that be? 2016?
Okay.
Yes. I think I had like a semi-successful video where I parodied a Taylor Swift song. No, it wasn't Taylor Swift. That was a Frozen song.
Yeah.
Never mind. I just sang over stuff. And that was how people got to know me. And then when we did Pokésports, nobody knew.
Because you're in like a different place.
Yeah, because I wasn't doing singles. I wasn't doing edited content. I feel like Weedle Twineedle's cast of audience would recognize me more than the VGC crew.
If you just played that song over in the middle of one of your battles.
Well, now it's been so long that I think people have forgotten.
Well, so. That has to trigger something.
Probably.
Because that video blew up. So if you just put yourself side by side and like, okay, so you go against the Heat Ran that uses Magma Storm, right?
Yeah.
And then you just say Magma Storm, and then
people,
have that video there.
Yeah, well, and maybe I'm overinflating my own ego because we joke about it a lot, and I'm like, oh, it's left an impression on Kevin's mind, so clearly everybody else knows. But yeah, and then what about you? Where was your?
I was just extra reservation. I was doing the same thing for the last 10 years.
Yeah,
that's what's crazy.
Now people are back, and they're like, oh wow, Kevin's still here.
He's a different thing now, different channel.
Yeah, he has more facial hair, and he's just doing the same thing.
Wow. Yeah, a lot more wrinkles on my face. I was a baby when I was a baby when I did YouTube. 2014, that was 9 years ago. 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
I was a baby.
10 years ago.
10 years.
Look at you.
And then I stopped to play League. Biggest mistake of my life.
What was?
And then I stopped playing League.
What was life like for you 10 years ago when you were starting this?
I was in college.
Okay.
I was in college. X and Y was coming out. I just shipped. Okay, so back in the day, what we used to have to do, because we didn't have like Elgato capture cards because Pokemon games were on a handheld console, so you'd have to ship out your DS to either a random address in the middle of the United States or a random address in Japan, and then they would attach a capture cardboard to it. So this was the only DS that I had. I was like, well, I guess I'm sending this DS out.
Capture cardboard.
Yeah, capture cardboard.
And like it used to be kind of, they weren't great at like, getting them in there, so it was all like
they used to have to detach the back piece of your DS, attach another thing to
they
it.
Modded it.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it cost way too much money. I think it was like $500 at the time. So currency.
But then there were the other side of that where people like very much did not want to do that. So they go and set up their cameras in front of their DSs. So they open up their DS on the table and they put their camera like over their shoulder. Yeah.
The iPhone 6 was actually pretty decent at capturing
I remember you were so excited by the fact that a camera could like kind of capture it properly. You're like, oh wow, this is so good. 10 years back, Kevin was saying,
yeah.
10 plus 10.
And the other thing is that this was before a time where like face cams were big, so like a lot of big portion of my success came before face cams. And after face cams, it was like, long hair Kevin, no facial hair. And they're like, oh, it's this hair Kevin. Oh, it's this guy. It's a weird looking guy.
And now you just never take off your hat.
Yeah, now the long hair is now no hair.
So now you're a hat.
Now it's hat.
Yeah. And then Pokemon wise, like you've always been playing VGC.
Yeah, I never stopped. Oh, the thing is, originally in 2014, Shady Penguin was doing his comeuppance.
That's right.
So he was doing a lot of singles content. I was kind of just doing a very similar thing. So I was like, okay, I gotta somehow stand out to this guy that clearly knows what he's doing a lot better than I do. So I just did both. But also another story to that is, the one of the reasons I started doubles originally was because I was doing in Black 2, White 2. I have a lot of unlisted videos about this.
Oh, yeah.
I was doing mono teams, so I just run mono ice, mono electric, mono etc. But the sad thing is, in single battles, you're only allowed to pick 3. So I was like, I want to showcase as much of the team as I can. So I brought 4 instead, and I did doubles there. I was like, okay, now I get to showcase more of the ice type things that I'm bringing on the team. And then I learned that, oh wait, the actual competitive game is played in doubles.
Yeah.
Let me just do that now.
Which famously we had a problem with for a very long time doing this podcast, where like it's such a major part of the Pokemon ecosystem.
Yeah.
But they don't show you any kind of doubles battles.
Blueberry Academy.
The longest time.
Finally, right?
When the DLC came out and everything was a double battle, it was like, oh, okay, they've paid attention. They're making these changes. That felt really good. And now it kind of feels like people at least have some kind of on-ramp to competitive Pokemon.
I wonder how the Smogon only players, if they still play the game or they only play Showdown, felt about going into the Blueberry Academy and only playing doubles battles. I wonder if that actually introduced more people into doubles battle because of it.
I think,
because we're at the biggest regional now,
I can guess with pretty decent authority that there are a lot of Smogon players who just don't play the actual cartridge game.
I believe that, yeah. Ever since they took the timer away.
Yeah. Ever since they realized they couldn't play a like proper game without not being on the game. Yeah. So it was tough.
The thing is, like, what's crazy is this is the largest regionals that we've had to date for Pokemon. We did the math. It's like 4,000 plus people.
I want to say 4,366.
I'm going to believe that.
Yeah, I think that's
number. Accurate number. Perfect number.
Perfect. I have all the numbers. I know them all.
So yeah, biggest regional we've ever had.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because as a joke, you made this joke the other day that that's more people than North Carolina. I believe that on the walk here.
Yeah, on the walk here. Yeah, it's quiet streets, man. Quiet streets. Very windy. Very windy. And we said that. It's very windy, very cold. And I like that.
It's like a very clean New York.
Coming from Jersey, coming from Toronto, where it's currently snowing.
Yes, in both places. And
there is already layers of snow on the ground. I am so happy to be at a place where
there is
not. It was funny. My wife, when I was about to leave, she went and looked up the weather, and she was like, "Oh, you're gonna love this. It's like 10 Celsius."
Yeah, Celsius.
10 Celsius, and then she looked further into the week, and she's like, "And it's gonna be 17 next week." That's like spring weather.
17.
Yeah, I'm not used to that. In a January. I love that.
Siri, what's 17 degrees Celsius?
Let's see it.
17 degrees Celsius is 62.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's spring.
There you have it. There you have it. All right. So every 200 episodes, we reintroduce ourselves. I say in my notes. We'd say that we're in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I hope we remember that in 4 years.
No, because that's different, right? That's what we do every 400 episodes. That's what we do every 400 episodes. We have Q&A.
Oh,
all right.
We missed a couple of weeks, right?
We did miss a couple of weeks. In 198, the Isle of Bear.
Oh.
I asked the question, does anything surprise you about Regulation F so far?
I didn't think Raging Bull was going to be so dang good, but it's so
right?
annoying.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to flop. The second I saw that Pokemon, I was like, oh, okay, Electric Dragon, we're going to get Murite on. This thing's going to be irrelevant the second it drops. Then they showed us the stats, and I was like, it might be relevant.
And then you actually saw it in action. It's like, oh.
The other surprise I had that I'm a little less surprised about the more I think about it.
Yeah.
Is I thought Walking Wake was going to be better than it is.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be like a staple on every Sun team. It just feels like it's not.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
Because Walking Wake and Iron Leaves, they were held back from the meta for so long. And now that they're allowed in, they're not great.
They're not that great. I mean, they're fine. I also expected Suicune to do more because Suicune is very tanky, but it feels like with Rillaboom running around, it's not really there. And I also felt like Gouging Fire was going to be better than it is, but of course, Entei still wins, you know?
Yeah.
Entei with Sacred Fire, Entei with E-Speed.
I do think that
Focus.
Gouging Fire reminded a lot of people that Entei exists.
So
I feel like people, they started using Gouging Fire and they're like, oh, wait a minute. But this Entei thing, it knows extreme speed.
don't get me wrong. Imagine if Gouging Fire got Sacred Fire instead of Flare Blitz.
Yeah.
And imagine if Gouging Fire got E-Speed still instead of like Dragon Claw. I'd use Gouging Fire. The stats are better on Gouging Fire.
That's what they do.
They're well
Generation 10.
Yeah.
Gen 10, they bring back Gouging Fire, but they give it
Something
this time. Because like that's what they did with the Genies, right?
Yeah.
They brought them back, but they gave them a usable
New
move.
spread move, yeah.
They did that with the starters, I think. Like Blastoise, they did with Torterra.
Torterra got Shell Smash.
Yeah.
Now, and
yeah.
also
they got like
Rush.
existing but relevant moves to them.
Except Meganium. Meganium they still threw in the trash.
Yeah. I forgot that one existed.
Yeah, it's the second one.
Yeah.
151 on that. Oh, no, 152.
153.
Whatever.
154? 154. Because 151 is Mew. 152 is Chikorita.
200 is Mischevous, so that means 201 we're still not going to know because it's not an evolution.
No.
We still have no idea.
It's got to be the other one because Mischevous was a version exclusive, right?
What was the other one?
It was. Yeah, I think that was like a Daywalker. Yeah. You could get Mischevous in the night at something else in
Okay, what is Mischevous? What is Fluttermane's counterpart in the game? Is it Delibird?
Maybe.
Iron Bundle Mischevous?
Do you want me to look it up now?
Yeah.
I know you want me
We're going to forget next week.
Yeah. No, it's a thing that we do like every 2 episodes. I wrote in episode 201.
I guess it's Delibird.
Pokemon 201, I can tell you, is unknown.
I would have never guessed that.
No, I would have never. I forgot.
There's 26 forms. I forgot every single one of them.
I forgot that was even
There's 28 forms. They made a question mark. Remember
They
that?
sure did. So one of the answers here, we've got our answers. Mewtwo and Ulturus is apparently Stellar type is actually good, especially because Stellar doesn't have any defensive benefits. I didn't expect Stellar to be used, and Stellar isn't used on coverage bonds. So it's been like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks since this question was asked, and Stellar has since then been used in Portland.
Yeah.
Portland wasn't a thing then.
It's very situational.
Mhm.
I'm not ready to say that it's garbage. I think I'm actually, we'll get into our teams later for this tournament. I'm actually running Stellar on my Pokemon. In the case with my Pokemon, I'm running Stellar because there are certain damage calcs that I need where I need the boost on 2 separate moves, right? There's some damage calcs where I need a Wicked Blow on my Dersh, and then there's some damage calcs where I need my Iron Head to do that much more damage to take care of like Fluttermanes, for example.
Yeah.
So I need the calc on 2 different moves, and you can't have that calc if it's just one Tera. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. Yeah.
And honestly, Dersh doesn't have the worst typing in the world, so it's not like I'm sacrificing much.
Yeah, you still get Dazzling Gleam. It still hurts a lot.
Yeah, I mean, what difference does it make? And honestly, knocking out the Dersh, fine. I just go into my Psy Spam. It's no big deal.
Knocking out the Dersh. Jackson says, how few Ogrepon I've been seeing. Feels like the usage plummeted immediately. And then Portland happened.
Yeah, where every team had an Ogrepon.
Every team had an Ogrepon. And I think it'll be like that now too. A lot more Wellspring than anything else.
Yeah, I feel like Fire dropped off. I feel like Rock dropped off. Ironic.
I forgot there was a Rock.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Cornerstone. Yeah, those 2 dropped off. Wellspring's the best one. Second best right now is kind of regular Teal Mask Ogrepon on Dondozo teams.
Yes.
Because it just deals with Instant. You wouldn't think that it deals with Instant so well. It deals with Instant so well. And Instant really messes up Dondozo.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's nice to have. Let's see. Exalted Wolf says that fairy types are even more viable.
Fairy types are even more viable.
Because of Raging Bolt, I guess.
Yeah, I would say just Fluttermane is still around, though.
Yeah.
It's really hard to knock Fluttermane off the list after Fluttermane just has the stats that Fluttermane has.
Right. Exalted Wolf said, help me push to Master Ball with my Pheasantipity team. Pheasantipity.
Oh, Exalted Wolf. You would have had a lot easier time getting there without that. Hey, kudos to you.
Next to Zero says, not an answer, writing to say I'm from New Jersey and I use wrist straps, but only on the treadmill though. Keep up that fantastic work. Sorry, so this person, 1, is better than you in so many ways. Because 1, they use wrist straps. 2, they use a treadmill. So
GG.
Amazing.
And you're from Jersey? How'd you do all those 3 things? Wow.
How did you manage to be those 3 things? Blake the Phonice. Oh,
Blake
says, I'm surprised about the leniency of the current meta. There's always going to be a handful of powerhouses, but almost anything can be made viable. Okay.
I do agree with that.
I think so too.
I think the meta is not defined yet.
No.
I think there is a good stuff balance, but that's an archetype. That's not a meta. The fact that you can run good stuff balance, run a bunch of legendaries and stuff on your team, and then turn around and be like, yeah, I want Gallade on the size spam team is kind of crazy. Like, you can get away with the Gallade now, you know?
Mr. Kurtastic says, how hard Iron Hands fell off.
That is honestly, yes.
That was my biggest surprise.
That is a Kurtastic quote right there.
Yeah, that's a great take. Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
That Iron Hands used to be in the meta is no longer there.
It's not bad.
No,
it's not bad. I don't know what happened. It's just gone. Everyone wants Raging Bolt, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of 2 electric types, right? It's not like water is running berserk, and the water types that do exist are Ogerpon, Wellspring.
It's still important to intimidate things, though. It's really strange how that kind of
Iron Hands doesn't do that.
I know, but Iron Hands was one of those things where intimidate. Yeah, it didn't want to intimidate. So now you'd think that with Iron Hands out of the meta, a lot of those intimidators would go away too.
You want to know when Iron Hands comes back?
Why?
Miraidon. When Miraidon comes back, Iron Hands is back. It gets to use the ability it never used up until this time.
That's fair. Yeah, we've been mentioning that too, where a lot of the the Quark Drive users are going to be surprisingly useful.
You're going to see Bundle again, because you can run Specs Bundle now with the terrain on the floor to get the speed.
Yeah.
It's going to be gross.
Photosynthesis users got real quiet when Rhydon came in there. Fluttermane is still here, says Kirby. We have Primarina and Flutter's not gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to compete.
I don't think Primarina was ever going to outshine Fluttermane.
It's not going to outshine Flutter. It is decent in Trick Room, and it's also probably the best version of a special water type that we have. Not the best version of a special fairy type that we have. Like, I'd run a Primarina, I'd still run a Fluttermane on that team too.
Yeah.
You know, you just run a Steel type, Archaludon in the middle of it, you'll be fine. No poison types will bother you. But it's the best version of a special water type that currently exists. So that's why it holds merit. It can actually hit you with a strong water move that doesn't miss.
All right. So that's 198. That was when I was asking about that. 199.
What is your biggest surprise?
The Iron Hands thing for sure.
Oh, okay. So
yeah. Iron Hands fell off immediately. Like it never existed.
Gone.
Yeah. It absolutely never existed, and I stopped seeing it in everything. 199, I said, we're coming up on the 200th episode. What should we do for it?
You noticed.
Yeah. Well, because we noticed it again during the podcast. Michael says, a different Michael, not me.
Not you.
Says, Kevin should play singles, and you should both only talk in acronyms. Happy 200th episode. Sweet Kings, he said. All right, cool.
IDK WUT.
What? That's just a word.
I don't know.
It's a misspelled word.
WUT2.
What?
IDK2.
If you were to play a singles game right here, how would that work?
You'd win.
You'd win? Like both of us. We'd have to play.
Oh, if we were playing each other, he'd win.
Oh.
I can tell you that right now.
I don't know about that.
He'd do something called set up hazards, and I'll be like, what's that?
That's true. I would put down Stealth Rock, and you'd be like, oh, well, I guess I lose.
I lost now. I didn't bring Rapid Spin.
Every single bird that comes out is just like, no, don't like that. What's a Pokemon this week to rock and ground? Nothing, right?
Rock and ground.
Rock and ground.
A water.
No.
Rock type? No.
I guess. Oh, I see.
Flying? No.
No, because that'd be immune.
Yeah.
There's no way.
What's weak to rock? Bug?
But okay. We have to do that. I see. Bug resists ground. Okay. Anyway, the whole thing I was trying to say, like, if I drop
Ice Steel type, Ice Rock type,
Ice Steel,
Ice Rock. That Hisuian Avalugg we got there.
Hisuian Avalugg would absolutely hate Stealth Rock and Spikes. That was the whole reason that I was trying to say that. If I drop down Stealth Rock and I drop down 3 layers of Spikes, what Pokemon can swap in and lose all of their HP? Like, that's the only thing I wanted to know. I'm so sorry that I spent so long on that.
We got there eventually.
We got there, exactly. WFBAETA
They're speaking in acronyms.
Waveda says a VGC Limitless tournament where you battle with only one Pokemon on the field. If we made a VGC Limitless tournament with one Pokemon, I know exactly what that Pokemon would be.
Hitmonchan.
It would be Hitmonchan, exactly.
We haven't played any Hitmonchan rock paper scissors yet.
No, at the Airbnb that we're at now.
We have to.
We want to, but I think some of the people that we're with are scared of playing Hitmonchan battles.
They're scared of us.
Maybe us, but I think they're scared of playing rock, paper, scissors with Hitmonchan.
Harrison does have 6. So we can actually try out 6 Hitmonchans.
I do want to see if that's better.
Yeah.
I want to know if that's better. Because I like the quick immediacy of one-on-one Hitmonchan battles, but like 6 feels like almost too much.
The problem with 6, though, I will say this: you have an option to switch, which kind of messes things up.
Yeah,
I feel like if it's just like gentleman's agreement, no one switches.
Oh, that'd be really good. No, I think that'd be really good
to have an added 4th one.
Yeah, because if you switch and they use Dynamic Punch or Focus Punch or Mach Punch, both of those hit. It's only Upper Hand that doesn't.
Oh,
so here's for those who don't know what I'm talking about, right?
That's rock, paper, scissors, lizards.
Rock, paper, scissors for Hitmonchan. You use a Hitmonchan, you use one of 3 moves, either Upper Hand, Mach Punch, or Focus Punch. If you go for Upper Hand when your opponent goes for a Focus Punch, then Upper Hand doesn't go through. Focus Punch gets its 2-turn or its beginning and end turn charge, and it hits. If you go for Mach Punch on a Focus Punch, though, it breaks the focus and doesn't work. But if you go for Upper Hand on the Mach Punch, then you flinch the Mach Punch. Mach Punch doesn't go through. Were you following along with that? I most people wouldn't. But you're smart, so you would. I'm pointing at you, of course.
The other thing, though, that would increase the balance. Well, it would decrease the balance. So it would make Mach Punch and Focus Punch a lot better,
right,
than Upper Hand. But a good time Upper Hand can win you the game.
Yeah,
that would break things.
No, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good break.
Good break.
It's a good break. I like it. We'll try it out with Harrison's stuff later today. Aiden says, I'm hijacking the question to say that yes, I intend to bring a weakness policy Metagross next to fling Sceptile/Bulldozer Spectrier. Will it do well? Don't know, but it'll be funny. And I agree, it will be funny.
Good job hijacking the question. People forget you can just do that.
I like it when people do that, honestly.
Now no one's going to answer
any question. No, and you know what? That's fine.
Next week's question. Hijack this question.
Will you hijack this question? Now what? Luke says, you guys should make a team and play it on the online ladder with Pokedex number 200. That's Mischevous. I won't say here in case you're going to quiz it. Thank you, Luke.
Shout out, Luke.
Yeah, I like you. We've never. We used to try and like make
our own,
and play them on the ladder.
And then we got a community.
Then we stopped doing that. Gat Kids says you should get Tyranitar Tube on the pod. I'd love to.
Oh yeah,
I like Tyranitar Tube. I watch his stuff sometimes.
That's another back in the day YouTuber.
Yeah, he's been around for a minute. I love Mr. Crewtastic because he always starts with "It's Mr. Crewtastic."
We know.
Yeah, I know. I knew before you introduced yourself as that.
I've recognized your photo already.
Yeah. Maybe just reminiscing your favorite teams or mods you used from Swish to SV on the channel. Ooh. Or a counter of all the times that Kevin said bop. I don't know if I can listen through that much footage.
Every time an Ivy Cudgel happens, it's just bop. Or Expanding Force one shot. My favorite team from Swish, it's gotta be the Butterfree team that I brought to.
Butterfree team.
Yeah, you remember the Butterfree team that I brought to was that Secaucus Regionals?
Mm-hmm.
Gen A. It was like the first regional back from like post-pandemic.
Yes.
And I love that team so much because Butterfree actually won me a lot of games. And I beat James Beck because I crit him twice with an Astro Barrage from my Specs Calyrex Shadow.
I think it's amazing.
But I love James, and I'm still sorry about that, James.
I think it's amazing when anybody can rattle off what they did in a game. I can't do that for anything.
You don't even know what you played in Gen 8.
No.
Oh, no. I know what Mike's favorite team is already.
Yes, of course he does. and I mean, you probably know too, right? It's, okay, well, you go ahead and say
it's the Healing Wish.
Yeah, it's the Healing Wish audience.
Soul Galio. Dynamax Soul Galio.
That's right. So from Sword and Shield, yeah, that was my favorite. In this one, I don't think I have a favorite yet.
No, you kind of just play balance most of the time.
Yeah.
Right?
It's strange. Like I love all of these like fun gimmicky things or like things where it's a little buggy. Like that Latios, the ally switch problem that's happening right now. Right?
Oh, that you can ally switch. I don't okay, if you ally switch and then swap in a Pokemon that has its form broken, like Shields Down Minior, for
Yes.
example, it copies the Pokemon that ally switched and puts it in that spot. So you can have like 2 Tera Latios on the field at the same time. The Wobblefed on Twitter posted a very good explanation of this, and I think the tweet starts off with ban ally switch.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny is that they haven't done that yet. I'm surprised because they banned Dragon Cheer.
Yep.
They haven't banned this, and this kind of does mess the game up a little bit.
It messes the game up. It like totally it Zoroarks itself.
Yeah, I think the reason they haven't banned it yet because it's technically just a visual bug. It's not game defining. The Pokemon in that slot is still a Minior, even if it looks like a latte, a Latios,
a latte. Mm-hmm. Ollie says, play Wolfie's Parish team on ladder. We've been doing a ton of that.
I've been playing against it on that.
Yeah, we've been doing a ton of that in the past
so annoying.
24 hours.
I would play Parish Trap, not at a regional though. I don't have the mental capability to do that.
Me neither.
There's a reason I play Psy Spam. It's because I can set Trick Room up and win in 3 turns. Like, that's the point. Just finish quick.
Because when it works, and if it doesn't, then you know that you have to turn on your brain.
Yeah.
But yeah. So my favorite in Scarlet and Violet is Undecided, but I did love at the very beginning of Scarlet and Violet how anytime you went to go and choose a team, it would always say, "Would you like to choose team name?" So I always would bring a team called Violence, and I would make sure to choose Violence every time that I was playing against somebody. Whatever that encompasses, right? There's usually like a Sandy Shocks on that. Like
just cuz that just
came. I love Sandy Shocks.
Sandy Shocks my Pokemon.
Yeah. Dave says a genuine attempt at onboarding players who want to start playing competitive. I think that like the scene desperately needs that. I watch videos online, but either they get way off track in the weeds or assume a tremendous amount of knowledge. And that like 100%, 1,000,000% agree with that. I think it's very easy for everybody in VGC to realize that like, oh yeah, VGC is complicated and it's hard to get into.
Yeah.
But, then they go and try and make their own guide and they got way too into it way too quick.
You know what the problem is? They all try to fit it in one video.
No, you're right.
You can't.
You can't.
You need to have like video number 1, basics. And that video, you literally go over type matchups. Like video number 2, team preview. Something else.
Exactly, right? And everyone has like the sliding scale of experience in Pokemon. But like if you start with one video, you need to have the people come out of that video being like, okay, water is good against fire.
Yeah.
Fire is bad against rock.
Yeah.
But steel, you can break rock, but fire beats steel. It's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And like those videos, I guess, kind of exist, but like how does somebody who's not already initiated in the knowledge sphere know where to start?
Yeah.
They don't know what they don't know.
And it's different because I've played I got really into Pokemon Go for like 2 weeks.
Yes, you did.
And that time I watched a YouTube video about 40 minutes long, and it taught me pretty much everything I needed to know for Pokemon Go's competitive circuit. Now, not saying anything bad about Pokemon Go players, VGC is a lot more complicated than Go.
Mm-hmm.
Go is pretty much at its core, at its bare bones, rock, paper, scissors.
Yes.
VGC is like 3D chess compared to rock, paper, scissors. So it's essentially like, how do you teach someone that maybe came from Go, maybe played competitive Go? How do you teach someone that's used to playing rock, paper, scissors competitively 3D chess? It's a handful. It's not easy.
How do you get them there?
And you can play. You and me collectively have probably played more than tens of thousands of games.
Yep.
Just on YouTube on Showdown, and there's still stuff we forget or we miss or we don't know.
How many times have I fake outed in Psychic Terrain?
More times than you'd like to admit.
Way more times than I would ever like to admit. But yeah, like if somebody ever created a genuine attempt at that, I think they would be successful. So if you want to be the person to go and do that, go for it.
But you know, the other issue is that every 3 years you're going to have to remake.
That's the problem.
Because the game changes.
Mm-hmm. There's some people who like will make their entire channel about that though.
Mm-hmm.
Who'll be like, I'm an informative YouTube channel, so I'll teach you how to do this kind of strategy.
You should consume as much content as you can and play as much games as you can.
Just watching people play has been the biggest thing. Like for me, I got unhealthily into teamfight tactics over the past like 2 years.
I wasn't able to, and I'm kind of glad I wasn't.
Good, honestly, good. It's a time sink.
Yeah,
but there's like one content creator that I watch for that, and I watch every single one of his videos. And so the way that I think when I play the game now is kind of similar to the way that that person plays, I think. But then like every now and then I'll go and watch another creator and they'll have a completely different take on how to play the game.
You could play it different ways.
Oh, there's more than one way to play any game.
If I only played competitive teams that I'm trying to ladder with on my channel, people watching me would think that side spam's the only thing you could play. That's the truth. The second they're like, "Oh, you can play other teams?" Weird.
Yeah.
I only know how to play side spam because that's all Kevin knows how to play.
Right. You watch the Pokésports channel, and it's like, "Oh, Serena's here. Oh, Magcargo is used in the game.
Magcargo's in the game.
In the game. Magmortar is in the game. Okay, interesting." And then you go to the Pokésports Patreon, and it's like, "Oh, side spam."
Yeah, that's pretty much what Patreon is at this point. Unfortunately, yeah.
Well, leading up to Charlotte, and then after that, you're probably going to go either 1-4 or 8-2, and you're going to be like, okay, well, time to retire this team,
and then probably find another way to do it again,
and then go and do it a different way.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, what's our next one? Orlando. So that was the regulation now.
Well, let's see. It's right here on my thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that will be Orlando, at least from Overload. Alex, yeah, I'm on vacation during that time.
That's right.
And it's like, why has it got to be that week? Mm-hmm. Ask Overload to go and move it.
I will.
Thanks.
I'll let him know that Mike from Pokésports.
Yeah, he's on vacation.
Yeah.
Alex says, answering the Jeffrey question, the Farigiraffe was traded to me from my brother, but I checked with him, and it is because of Toys R Us. Yes.
Thanks, Alex.
Yes. I knew it.
I if you guys are wondering, if you guys watch the YouTube videos and you guys love those cold opens, that's all Mike.
Oh, thanks.
I have literally no say. I used to kind of give him
suggestions. He does have no say. Yeah.
I used to give him suggestions as to what he should do, and then I got lazy and I stopped doing it. And he just kind of took the reins and was like, I'll find something.
Yeah.
I hope it's easy for you to find something. I hope it doesn't take you like 20 extra minutes to find
Sometimes. I mean, when we're leading up to a 5-day stint of you not being there to record and me not being there to edit, and you bang out like multiple videos in a day, like maybe the fourth will be a little dry. It's like, okay, well, can I find something?
You ever see me jumping around? That's you trying
to get back.
No, that's me trying to. That's probably the most energetic thing.
I see.
When I'm jumping, if I ever throw my controller.
Because I thought you were going to be like, when you see me jumping around, it's because I'm getting tired. I need to wake myself up. But it's like, no, when you're tired, you're just like, what's the word? You commentate.
Yeah, I just speak.
You fall into commentary.
Someone asked me, Kevin, is that a Pepsi or a Bud Light in your hand? You know the answer.
You know.
I don't like sugar that much.
Second half to that was 200th episode. Talk about all your big accomplishments. I don't know. Okay. Well, we did.
25K on YouTube.
We reintroduced ourselves because that's what we do every 200 episodes.
Alrighty.
Yes. Oscar says hi. Hey. Mewtwo and Ultura says, if possible, host a Natdex Uber tournament in Smogon where only legendaries are allowed.
I don't even know all those books.
Legendaries only. Who would be like good?
Terrapagos.
Among other legendaries, you think? Among 3 other, assuming this is still VGC.
So I can't use any other Pokemon, right?
Yeah, only legendaries.
Do any legendaries get Shed Tail? What are we considering Cyclizar?
Cyclizar is not a legend.
What's our Cyclizar situation?
No, I'm sorry. We can't do that.
If I can get a
I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Or design and explain the PvP mechanics of a type you designed by yourself, like nuclear type.
Oh, you want me to make a type?
Yeah, let's make a type. What's your type, Kevin?
What's my type?
Chair. Now let's just look around the room.
I'm going
Camera type.
No, I'm thinking.
Okay.
I
gonna get
think that we should have swamp type.
Oh, that's fun. Wait a minute. That's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, swamp type. You are super effective against water.
Yes.
You're super effective against grass.
Okay.
Because you are both of those things.
Hmm.
You are also super effective against ground.
So Pokemon like Muck would be a swamp type,
Yes.
but I think it would keep its poison type. We're not just, hand over fist like replacing
So many
swamp with
things
poison,
that you could do.
But I think there are certain Pokemon that are
water swamp.
Yeah, that's funny. There are certain Pokemon that are poison but not swamp.
Yeah.
Because like Muck, yes, that's a poison in a swamp.
Salazzle in the swamp. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like I don't know, Naganadel. Like that's not going to be.
Labora shouldn't be in a swamp.
Right. Exactly. Because it's kind of fancy poison type. Strangely enough, I don't know, man. It's like a little
swamp type.
It floats around. It does its thing. What other poison types are there? Like Venusaur. Venusaur's not a swamp type.
It could be.
Could be, I guess.
I'd
put Swampert in there first.
Yeah.
I'd put Swampert as water swamp.
Canonically, yeah, that makes sense.
I'd take out the ground typing as ground typing.
I'd say that for alligator can be water swamp too. It's a crocodile.
Does Swampert have ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Water.
Okay, right. It's Quagsire. Right.
Right. Water swamp type.
I think any water ground Pokemon just becomes
swamp.
Just becomes a swamp. Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'll go the other way. Where
volcanic ash.
Okay. How about this? We've got space type.
Okay. Jirachi.
Okay. So Jirachi would be his space type Pokemon. Deoxys would be anything cosmic. Yeah, Minior.
Cosmic type.
I think Minior was wrong to be rock and flying. I'd make it rock and space.
That makes sense. But also rock flying makes sense because that's what comets are. Flying rocks.
No. I would say, okay, hold on.
They're falling.
Wait a minute.
They're not flying.
Comets don't fly, but
they fall.
They fall. They're always falling.
Okay. Falling type. Spinda.
Okay. I'll play in this space.
We'll play in this cosmic type.
Yeah.
Spinda can be a falling type.
Mm-hmm.
Super effective against fighting.
Okay.
Because they can't predict them, they fall over.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know what it's going to do.
Immune to ghost. Kind of like normal, but super effective against fighting.
Yeah. Moving on. Connor says another numbers episode. No. Guess Pokemon number 200, says Jetpack.
We did.
Yes,
I got it right.
Here's a hint if you want a better chance of getting it right. This Pokemon's Violet Pokedex entry says it likes to bite on and yank people's hair. Did you know that about Mischevous?
No, but I guess that makes sense. It wants to be a Fluttermane.
Oh.
It wants those people's
hair has always been a part of that species. Wild. CJ says make a cake and celebrate. I wish. I wish I could.
This couch is actually a cake.
Our Airbnb has a
cake
oven.
Oh,
we can make a cake.
Yeah.
But it also has a hot tub and Uber Eats exists. So
we can order cookies.
We did that yesterday. It was great. Ordered insomnia and felt real bad about it after.
It's okay.
Yeah.
New day, new diet.
Right. Oakley the dog says Pecharunt gets,
says,
by the way,
woof,
Pecharunt. It is Pecharunt.
It is Pecharunt.
Yes. There several people got on our case about that. Been like, it's a peach, dude. Like, Pecha has always been based on a peach. So we don't call it a
Pecharunt.
We don't call it a peak.
It should be Pecharunt.
Because it doesn't have the A. It's a P if it's PEA. You eat those, each piece.
Okay. How do you say garganical? Garganical?
Garganical is how you say garganical.
Garganacle.
You do not say garganacle.
Garganacle.
It's like that in spirit because knackle is the scientific way of for salt, but it's also gargantuan, so it's not garganackle. Garganackle. It's not gargasalt.
Gargle salt.
Come on. Brian says, so does Kevin think the IRL fruit is called a peck and not a peach? Exactly.
Yes.
I got this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at
You got
that.
the same one I got? Yeah, you got the same one I got.
I can't see on my camera anywhere, but this is... Ooh, look at that.
That's not bad.
I like that. It's a little Chempow. They were giving out two different kinds. They were giving out Chempows and Roaring Moons.
I would show you a Roaring Moon, but I didn't choose that one.
You chose a Chempow as well?
Yes, I did.
Ah, look at you.
Also Chimpo.
Okay. Should we go over our teams?
Yeah.
I want to see if there's a really good one here, though. Okay, one more, and then we'll go over our teams. Let me just not unplug my microphone for this. Go entire. Oh, okay. This is good. This will line right up with what we're doing. Go through the entire sign-up process for events, i.e. regionals/internationals. I've never done an event mainly because I can't ever figure out the sign-ups. I'm assuming they're getting mad. And there aren't any vids on what to do. You'd think that the people who put together these events would want to put like some kind of explainer video out.
Surprised that 4,000 people managed to find their way here.
True.
Yeah,
true.
Somehow.
I wonder how many people didn't.
I wanted
all the rest of them,
like
yeah.
Pokemon, not able
But
to.
how do I figure it out? Yeah.
Okay, so unfortunately, it's not intuitive like most of things Pokemon.
Mhm.
So what Pokemon does for their regionals is that they sanction off their regional events to different organizers
Based on the location.
based on location. So this one is organized by Overload Games, who is currently responsible for the Pittsburgh regionals, the Toronto regionals, the Charlotte, that's the one that we're in now, regionals, and Orlando, Florida. So if you plan on going to Florida, then you would have to go on Overload's Twitter page. I turn on notifications if you're looking to maybe go.
Mhm.
And then they will tweet out the day and the time frame that they are accepting registrants. Once that time frame happens, they will post the link. There's 4 different links. There's Spectator, Go, TCG, and VGC.
Mhm.
You choose whichever one you want to play, and you sign up that way. You pay them some money, and then you're pretty much locked in. And after that, you then have to have your team sheet submitted 7 a.m. the morning of the tournament or earlier. So you got a lot of time to throw your team sheets in there.
I think the reason that it's been working out so well so far has mainly been because people come with friends.
Yeah.
Like you just really need one person in your group of friends
That
to
has
like
done it
really
before.
know how to do it. Yeah. Or really get into it. You don't necessarily have to be on Twitter for it, but I mean, it helps.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
They do tweet about it always.
what they're
As long as you have the website, like that's all you need. And I'm pretty sure that the Pokemon website does actually get into it a little bit.
What are the other organizers? There's Overload,
Day 2.
Day 2, and there's something else.
There's a third one, but the third one we don't
It's
really
West Coast usually.
Yeah.
So I don't really.
we don't
Yeah,
really
right.
see that too often. But yeah, so I mean, you get there, you go and sign in. We've already gone and signed in. This is Friday for us. And you get your little swag. You come back the next day and they have your name on a little sheet of paper. Once you put in your Pokemon, like Kevin was saying, you go and sit down, you go and have your matches. You can check on the app, on the
RK9
the
Lab.
website app. Yeah. RK9.gg. And once everybody has done their matches, they post up the results. They say who's going next. You do that 9 times in a row, and you're done.
You're either very sad or very happy.
Very sad or very happy. Yeah. At any point, though, you can go to a judge and be like, "Hey, I'd like to drop out," which a lot of people do for different reasons. I think a lot of people, when they get to like the 4th game, either they're really tired or maybe they've gone 0-4.
And they want to do the MSS.
They want to do the mid-season showdown, yeah.
Instead.
Because typically, like, if you get what's in a 10-round thing, 10, 9, how many rounds do you think we're going to have?
We're going to have 9.
We're going to have 9.
Yeah.
If you're going, 6-3, you're probably going to get points, championship points.
Yeah. Depending on how many people go, but if you're going to this regional Charlotte, you're probably getting points at 6-3.
I do want to, yeah, that's the thing. And I want to get points this time.
Mhm.
So like no matter what I'm going, I think I might just keep going unless I'm going like 3 and 6. But honestly, I'm going with a balanced team. I can't imagine that I would do that badly. Knock on wood. You do.
We'll see if that would help.
Yeah, see if it would help. Yeah.
Watch again next week when you find out if we're happy or sad.
Because really, like I think I understand the team a little bit. I mean, honestly, watched enough certainly of it.
No offense to your team, there's not much to understand.
No, exactly.
It's just you put strong Pokemon on the field and then you click priority moves.
Yes, 100%. I'm just going to pull up my team right now, but do you want to talk about yours?
Yeah, so I'm running Psyspam again. So that means Hatterene is my best friend. Hatterene got Expanding Force for Regulation F.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, Armor Rouge. See you later, I guess.
Bye.
So I'm running Hatterene and Didi with just the kind of regular stuff. Expanding Force, Dazzling Gleam, Protect, Trick Room. And Didi with the Follow Me. The Helping Hand, I was kind of on the fence about skill swap. Because it helps a lot for the Chen-Pao matchup. But since I have Rocky Helmet, I'm not too stressed out about Chen-Pao. So I have Helping Hand, Trick Room, Dazzling Gleam, and Follow Me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the team is a little spicy. Except for the Torkoal. There's also a Torkoal here. You know what Torkoal does. Torkoal with Clear Smog.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then everything dies.
Yep.
The other thing is Ursaluna.
Okay.
And Gallade.
Now, so tell me a bit about Gallade, because that's been a Pokemon that hasn't really shown up too much in the game for a very long time, much to everyone else's attempt. Like, they're trying to. They always try to make Gallade a thing, but, like, only until now has really Gallade stepped into the limelight a bit.
So the current situation with Psyspam is that Psyspam got Expanding Force at the same time Incineroar entered the game. So everyone in their minds thinks, oh, I'm going to run Incineroar as an answer to Psyspam. When in reality, Incineroar isn't really an answer to Psyspam when you have a Pokemon like Gallade on the team.
Right.
Because Gallade isn't fast enough to really function in regular team compositions like balanced teams, for example. It's like base 70 speed.
Right.
So you can run it min speed. It's slower than Armor Rouge was, and we were all still running Armor Rouge for a long time. You can run it min speed, use sharpness, and also blow things up with Sacred Sword, specifically Incineroar, too.
Mm-hmm.
Straight one shot on Incineroar, even at -1, but the thing is you have Clear Amulet, so you're not even going to get to -1.
Right, true, okay. And then what's the thing about Sacred Sword again? What's its secondary?
Oh, Sacred Sword, yeah. It's another great answer to our Chaladon, setting up to +6.
Okay.
Sacred Sword ignores all defense raises, so...
Is it just defense raises?
It's any stat changes.
Any stat change. So if you are intimidated, does Sacred Sword still... No?
Any of their changes.
Any of their changes.
Any of the target's changes.
Okay, interesting. That's kind of cool.
Not to mention a Psycho Cut. A big issue with like physical psychic types, and big reason why Iron Leaves is maybe not seeing too much play, is that there just aren't that many physical moves that psychic types get that are stab. That's a big reason why Boulder's not played, right? Because Boulder doesn't get anything. It just gets, Zen Headbutt or Terra Blast. Pick one.
Right.
So,
but Psycho Cut's really good because sharpness boost, right? That's the reason.
Sharpness, 50% boost on stab, and then 30% boost on psychic terrain.
Wow.
And then high chance to crit.
So, so Psycho Cut is base 75, right?
70.
Yeah. So it gets another 35, 105 onto Gallade. That's pretty great. Sacred Sword is how much? Is that 90?
Sacred Sword is 90.
That's 90. Wow. So that gets a boost from sharpness too. So that's another 45. So that's 135. That's crazy. And usually if you're playing this in psychic terrain, your Psycho Cut gets another boost.
30% boost.
30%, the life orb boost.
You're talking about stab boosts too.
Yeah, and then there's stab boosts. Like there's a lot of math that goes into your team there.
When it was funny because when we were playing some games with Psyspam, we did a Helping Hand boosted Expanding Force in psychic terrain, and that is so much math that you don't even believe. It's Hatterene's base 136 special attack. And then you also have Expanding Force, which is base, 80? I don't even know what it is. I think it's around 80. Multiply that by 2, because that gets doubled.
If you ever want to, just make your brain hurt with math, look at Expanding Force, what it does in in Psychic Terrain.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It's crazy. There's too many boosts. It's like at the end of the day, it's like 600 something damage worth of worth of a double hit.
Yeah.
Spread move.
Oh, and then you reduce it by 0.75 because you're doing your spread.
Oh no.
Oh man, it's a lot. All right, so that's your team. We've got my team. My team's balance, right? It's Dragonite and Chien-Pao, which is great. It's always been great for the past X amount of regulations. It's been great because you can use extreme speed with choice band on Dragonite. You have Chien-Pao out with the Sword of Ruin, making physical damage do even more. You can Tera normal on your Dragonite and make your extreme speed do even more. And if they don't have an answer for that, then you win.
Yeah, like pretty much.
But then you've also got Fluttermane, which is just good because it's Fluttermane. Entei is one of my wild cards there.
Entei over Incin.
Entei over Incin, yeah. I would rather be receiving the stat drops than giving the stat drops.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially because I have so much like priority on my side.
Focus on Dragonite too?
I am also inner focus on
Dragonite. Okay, so you don't even care about Intimidate.
I don't care about him. Don't care. My Entei has an Assault Vest. I've got Ogerpon, Wellspring.
Maybe you care a little bit.
I care a tiny bit. The tiniest bit. Like just a tiny bit. And then Raging Bolt. I don't care with Raging Bolt.
Yeah. What Raging Bolt variant is that? Combined or?
This is not just Draco Meteor Thunderbolt.
Oh, okay. So just I'm gonna hit hard.
I'm gonna hit very hard. Yeah, yeah. And I think that if I were really gunning for day 2, if I was spending the past like month of my life like really making sure that this tournament went really well for me, I probably would go with like a Combine variant or things where I could set up a little bit. But my goal for this regionals is to hit very hard, is to try and break through whatever shenanigans people are, trying to play with and try to make day 2 like that.
The teams you'd probably struggle against a lot are probably like furry giraffe teams, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Because that's a lot.
Things that I can't just extreme speed.
You don't have speed control. Your speed control is clicking plus 2
priority
moves, on nearly every Pokemon. Actually, you have E-Speed, Sucker Punch, Thunderclap. What else?
Does Ogerpon have any of those? I don't think
follow me, I guess.
Follow me. Yeah. Follow me, Spiky Shield and Protect. all that priority in Protect.
Do you remember if you're Speed Booster Flutter or?
Oh, I don't remember. No.
What's your EV spread?
252. Yeah. Speed? Yeah, this is definitely speed. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have Icy Wind?
I'm going to open this up again. And I do not.
Oh.
I might want to put that.
Maybe that might be something to consider.
That would be good.
Have a little bit of speed control.
I think I didn't because I have Ice Spinner on Chien-Pao. I feel like I have a decent amount of ice coverage just in the virtue of having Chien-Pao, but maybe putting Icy Wind on Fluttermane would be a good idea.
A little speed control, just in case.
It might not be there because I'm fiddling with this thing way too much. I'm just gonna put that right there. I think that my current Fluttermane set is because I just really like a certain Fluttermane set that uses 2 different fairy moves. And I don't need that. I don't really need that. Dazzling Gleam is kind of enough.
That's fair. There are some calcs where Moonblast is necessary.
Yeah.
But you can just E-speed them and just make the Dazzling.
I can just use a myriad of other stuff that I have. Yeah.
Yeah. You could just use the other 6 Pokemon, the other 5 Pokemon.
Are you feeling confident about your team?
Yeah. This is the best version of Psy Spam that I think I've played so far.
Really?
Yeah. I know it looks like I don't have a lot of practice when I play on Showdown or on the TV.
Not to me.
But this is the team that I've been playing on Patreon for a very long time.
Sure, but also like it's going to be I was saying this too when we were all playing because this is traditionally what you do at a regionals where you get an Airbnb with like 6 other friends and you're just in it. Is you find the nearest TV, you bring your dock, you connect to that TV, and you start playing your game. And then everybody else in the friend circle starts chirping at you, being like, "Hey, what? You should be doing this. You should do this. You should do that." I pull out the pointer on the remote. I start going like that.
Yeah,
like you
might be making decisions that you wouldn't normally make by yourself.
Exactly, and they're not necessarily better decisions, but they always sound like a good decision when it's said by someone confidently and someone who like also knows what they're doing. So for us, like we have Bruno with us, and Bruno's like really good at the game. And so he's saying moves that you wouldn't normally do or that I wouldn't normally do. And are they better? Are they worse? Who knows?
I think in general, like having close team sheets too and playing size spam in close team sheets is really hard. It's like if you can figure that out, then you should have no problem in open team sheets.
Yeah.
Right, because you could just be playing size spam team online. You have closed sheets. They just have a flutter main lead, and you're like, oh, it's just a flutter main lead. But then they hit you with the imprisoned trick room, and you're just like, okay, well, I guess I lost.
Right.
Yeah. Next.
Yeah. When we get back, I'm probably going to practice mine a little bit.
Yeah.
Just kind of like feel it out, you know? I'm not really the type of player to, you know, go and calc out certain interactions. And like, I can do it. I can do that kind of research. It wouldn't stay in my head.
I go by feeling. I think there was a situation where we were playing today and I had like a Fire Tera Torkoal with max health, Eruption, Helping Hand boost. And I was against like a T-Tar at half HP and something else on the other side of the field. And they were both resisted hits. I was so confident they got the KOs. They each lived at 1 HP.
Yeah.
So there is a world where they get that KO somewhere, right? Because there's a 15% variance. I might have just gotten screwed both times. Right. Maybe that was max damage. Never really an opportunity to check.
And we were saying that the whole time too. It's just like because there were people there who were very confident that it wasn't going to wasn't going to KO. And then when it didn't, they felt all good about it, rightfully so, because it didn't KO. But then I was looking over them like, it could have gone the other way.
Yeah. It was literally 1 HP.
Yeah.
Both of them. It's like,
both of them got real close. And I'm sure it's happened to people who've been playing before. It's just you think that something's going to KO and then it just barely doesn't. And it's like, there was a world where I was right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that stupid variance rule.
Yeah.
If there's one thing they should delete from Pokemon, it's that.
That's what I would like.
Yeah. You can keep crits, keep everything else the same, keep freeze the same for all I care. Get rid of that stupid 15% variance. What's the point of it?
I do want, that's kind of my question is like, what's the goal? To what end?
Yeah. Are you trying to make this less competitive in the end?
Right.
Or like make it a 10%, make it a 5%.
Because does that make it less competitive? I don't think so.
I think it makes it, having it exactly the same percentage? I think that's fine. I think having it now is less competitive to add that 15% variance. Because it's more of a random chance. Why are we introducing more random chances? If
competition equals math, then the person who does the best math wins when there's no variance. And if that's the like 3D chess that we're kind of talking about, where it's like it's fully a mental game, like sure.
That's like saying, this queen will KO the pawn sometimes.
Right. Exactly. Unless, oops, I went a little bit too far to the left. Just doesn't go through. Yeah. But I feel like introducing the variance is like, it's the same kind of thing as a crit, where like sometimes it won't do the thing that you want it to do. Or other times it'll very much do the thing that you wanted to do. And it'll like with undisputed, we'll get the OCO.
I wonder how much that would break the game too.
I feel like people would...
I wonder how much like a 5%, like say 15 to 10. What happens?
Okay, so I would play in that space. I would say like, let's reduce it from 15 to 5.
Yeah.
I think like bring it as low as possible, but like have a tiny little bit of a chance that they'll hang on.
Yeah, I know why it exists, guys. There needs to be something for the players to blame it on that isn't themselves.
We need a way for people to be like, I have, I don't know, Gerald luck. Yeah, because that's what. No, it's because you need a reason to say that you have Kevin luck. Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited for this one. I think this one's going to be a really interesting
venue
for us. The venue is gigantic. They opened up the air walls and they're just using the whole space. I wasn't at Charlotte last year, but I heard that
this is small.
Back then they didn't have the air walls open.
It was probably around like 500 last year, 500 people. No. So just in VG, we're at like.
Well, like even then it was too much.
Increase, yeah.
Even then it was too much for the space. So this year they're opening up the space, which is great.
2,000 plus TCG players.
Yeah.
The VG section is right in the front, which is amazing. It's right by the door. Super easy to go in and out.
Really like that. So it'll be a fun time. Really big convention center. A lot of people there. There were already a couple of people who came over and said hi to us, which is fantastic. And hi, thank you for doing that. If you are listening to this before you are in the regional somehow, good luck.
Good luck
to you. If you see us and you've heard this one, say hi. We'll give you a high five. That's crazy. It's like 24 hours and we'll be done day one. So, I don't even know how I'm going to get this up in time. Like, we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
But anyway, if you want to go and see stuff after the regionals, you can go over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Pokésports, where Kevin is there playing games all day long. Unfortunately.
What am I uploading tomorrow? It might be Electabuzz.
Yeah, it might be Electabuzz.
It might be something.
I'll look that up. I'm sure I can find it. Can I find it in time though? That's the question.
Ooh.
Yeah. But what are we doing tonight?
Tonight we're getting KBBQ.
That's KBBQ.
The usual. This has become an accidental regional tradition for us to get KBBQ.
It became an intentional regional tradition. It's always the first day we get Buffalo Wild Wings just because. Then we figure out lunch the next day. We go for a Korean barbecue.
We got ramen today. From where? Jin something ramen?
Jinya
ramen. It was good.
Jinya was great. Today is Short Neck Raging Bolt.
Okay.
And then tomorrow is Electabuzz. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You got 2 electric types back to back.
Then there's Rhyperior coming up. So, spoiler alert.
Oh!
I think that might actually be the next
new swamp type Pokemon coming out.
We got a swamp type.
We got a swamp type one coming out. I won't tell you which one.
You can follow us on Twitter at Pokésports Pod and on Instagram at Pokésports Podcast because Pokésports was taken.
Well, fun fact, if you're members on YouTube, you can watch all those videos right now.
Yeah, they're already there because what are we going to do? YouTube doesn't let you schedule members videos, so we just kind of had to put them up when they put up. So you're welcome.
A day early becomes sometimes 5 days early if you're lucky.
Right. You get a lot early. Cool. Well, anyway, I've been Mike. That's been Kevin. We're Pokésports, and we can actually do this right now. Yeah, look at that. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Fight.